All right, let's just get straight to it. You've heard it a million times, right? The secret to getting a great body is more. More gym days, more sets, more sweat dripping off your forehead. But what if, and just hear me out, what if that's all a lie? What if the real key to looking incredible isn't about adding more, but about doing less, just with an insane amount of focus?
But before that, I hope you won't be lazy. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to support and motivate us. And don't forget to share this video with those who think that more effort alone is what really makes the difference.
Okay, so look at this. On one side, you've got a guy who practically lives in the gym. We're talking 6 days a week, a total marathon man. On the other side, a guy who's in and out in 45 minutes, just 3 times a week. Now, be honest, who's got that sharp, aesthetic, V-tapered look? Yeah, it's the dude training less. And trust me, this isn't some one-off fluke. I see this all the time. And here's the crazy part. That obsession with more exercises, more hours, more just grinding, that's probably the very thing that's keeping you stuck. You know the feeling, right? You're showing up, you're putting in the work, but when you look in the mirror, nothing's really changing. You're just exhausted, without the results to show for it. It's beyond frustrating, and honestly, it's why most people just give up. Well, you're not going to be one of them. We're going to fix that, starting right now. So, let's get into the why. The reason you're not seeing the changes you want, it has almost nothing to do with how many days you're at the gym. The real issue, the giant disconnect, is the difference between feeling tired and actually stimulating muscle growth. They are not, I repeat, not the same thing. And getting that wrong is the #1 mistake I see people make. Yeah, most people are just doing what I'd call theater lifting. You know what I'm talking about? You're in the gym, you're moving weights around, you're sweating, maybe get a pretty good pump, and your brain is like, hey, great session. But your muscles, they're just yawning. They barely even noticed you were there. You're just going through the motions without ever actually giving them a reason to change.
And this right here is the absolute heart of the problem. Feeling tired feels productive. It tricks you into thinking you accomplished something. But listen, your body doesn't build muscle because it's tired. It builds muscle because it was forced to respond to a threat. It was stimulated so intensely that it had to adapt. That distinction is everything. Think about it this way. Your body is a survival machine, and at its core, it's kind of lazy. It does not want to build muscle. Why? Because muscle is expensive. It costs a ton of energy, and your body wants to conserve that energy at all costs. So to force it to grow, you can't just ask politely. You have to send a signal so intense, so powerful, that it basically panics and thinks, whoa, okay, I need to get stronger, or I won't survive this again. That's the signal we're after. Okay, so enough chasing fatigue. Let's get smart about this. We need a clear target, a mathematical endgame. Because look, aesthetics isn't about being the biggest guy in the gym. It's all about having those perfect, eye-catching proportions. This is the goal. And it all boils down to one magic number, 1.6. That's it. This is the golden ratio for aesthetics, the ideal shoulder-to-waist ratio. When your shoulders measure about 1.6 times wider than your waist, that's when you get that classic, powerful, the superhero look. It's been the standard for literally centuries for a reason. So the formula is almost ridiculously simple. Step 1, build the proportions to hit that 1.6 ratio. Step 2, get lean enough to actually show it off. We're aiming for that sweet spot, around 10 to 15% body fat. Lean enough to see all that hard work, but not so shredded you look like you haven't eaten in a week. These two things are absolutely non-negotiable. So the big question is, how do we actually build that ratio? Well, here's the secret. You don't train everything equally. That's a waste of time. We need a minimalist blueprint, something that focuses with laser precision on the muscles that give you the biggest bang for your buck, the biggest visual return on your investment. It's all about intensity, not volume. And it really comes down to these 3 key players, the V-taper trio. First up, your side delts. Think of them as shoulder caps. Building these creates actual physical width, which by illusion makes your waist look tiny. Next, the upper chest. A full upper chest is what gives you that powerful, armored look. And finally, the lats. These are your wings. They create that classic reverse triangle shape from the back. You pour your intensity into these 3, and I promise you, your physique will transform.
Now, the rules for actually making these muscles grow, they're dead simple, but you have to be disciplined. Rule number 1, 3 brutal, all-out working sets for each exercise. That is it. Rule 2, you take those sets to absolute failure, or maybe 1 rep shy. That's where the magic happens. Rule 3, every single week, your mission is to beat last week's numbers. Add 1 more rep, add a little more weight, and finally, Rule 4, you have to track everything. If your logbook numbers aren't going up, guess what? You're not growing, period. But look, building that incredible frame, that's only half the battle. Seriously, you could build the most perfect muscle structure known to man, but if it's buried under a layer of body fat, it might as well not exist. And that is where the kitchen comes in. I want you to burn this into your brain. The gym is the construction site. It's where you lay the foundation, where you forge the steel, where you build the raw potential for an amazing physique. But it's the kitchen that does the grand unveiling. The kitchen is what pulls the tarp off the statue and reveals the masterpiece underneath. You simply cannot out-train a bad diet. Getting lean is what makes the V-taper actually pop, makes the shoulders look like cannonballs, and lets your abs finally say hello to the world. So what's the simple truth about getting lean? It's really not that complicated. Priority number one, the big 60% of the equation is a moderate calorie deficit. That just means eating a little bit less than your body burns each day. Then, about 30% of your focus should be on high protein. Why? To protect on that awesome muscle you're building. And that last 10%, that's cardio. Cardio is a great tool, don't get me wrong, but it's just a tool to help you stay in that deficit. That's its job. Okay, so let's tie this all together. Let's build a simple, powerful system that you can literally start this week. No more guessing what to do, no more feeling like you have to live at the gym, just a super efficient plan designed for one thing: maximum results. So here's what your week is going to look like. Monday, upper body focus. Wednesday, lower body focus. Friday, upper body focus again. That's it. That's the whole plan. And those days in between, that's for recovery. And listen, this isn't about being lazy. It's about being strategic. You need that time to recover so you can walk into every single workout at 100%, ready to bring the intensity that actually forces you to grow. And don't forget, the work doesn't just happen inside the gym walls. Think of these as your daily non-negotiables. We're talking 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep, because that's literally when your body rebuilds and grows. Aim for about 10,000 steps a day just to keep your metabolism humming along. Drown yourself in water, 3 to 4 liters minimum, and fuel yourself with real whole foods. Give your body the high-quality building blocks it needs. So, the next time you walk into the gym, I want you to ask yourself a very simple question. Is this just a commute? Am I just showing up to go through the motions and check a box? Or am I walking in here with one single purpose: to send my body a signal so loud and so clear that it has absolutely no choice but to get stronger, to adapt, and to grow? The answer to that question? Well, that's entirely up to you.